In this explainer, we're jumping into a question that honestly trips up a lot of people in software development. What's the real difference between functional and non-functional testing?
So let's really get into it. This is a classic interview question, right? And it's a super important concept for anyone in tech. They sound kind of similar, but trust me, they're testing completely different things. By the end of this, you're going to have it down cold.
All right, so first up, let's talk about functional testing. The big question we're asking here is actually pretty simple, but it's absolutely critical. Does the software do what it's supposed to do?
So the key thing to remember here is that it's all about the what. We're literally just looking at the specific features, the business logic that's spelled out in the requirements. If the plan says, hey, when you click this button, it should add an item to the cart, functional testing is what makes sure that exact thing happens. No more, no less.
So just think about the basic things a user has to do. Can you actually log in with your password? When you hit add to cart, does the right thing show up in your cart? And maybe most importantly, can you actually pay for your stuff? These are like the fundamental building blocks of the whole experience. I mean, if a user can't pay you, well, that's a direct hit to the business, right? So functional testing makes sure these critical paths are solid.
Okay, now let's switch gears and talk about non-functional testing. So if functional testing makes sure the car starts up and drives forward, non-functional testing asks all the other important questions. Like how fast does it go? Is it safe? Is it actually a comfortable ride? And that is a huge shift in thinking. We're not checking what the system does anymore. We're checking how well it does it. This is all about those quality attributes you see, the overall feeling of using the software. We're talking performance, reliability, and at the end of the day, is the user happy? So what does that mean in practice? Well, we're testing stuff like, how fast does that page load? Is my personal data actually safe from hackers? And is this app even easy to figure out, or is it a total headache? These are the things that make an app feel professional and trustworthy. Come on, we've all been there. A slow app gets deleted, and a security breach, that can literally destroy a company's reputation overnight.
Okay, let's make this super clear with an example we can all relate to, a food delivery app. This is where the difference really clicks into place.
Okay, check this out. This slide just perfectly splits the two worlds, right? Over on the left, you've got the functional questions, the nuts and bolts. Does the core machinery work? Can you log in? Can you order? Can you pay? Simple, yes or no. But on the right, you've got the non-functional side. Does it work well? Is it fast enough? Can it handle the Friday night dinner rush when thousands of people are ordering at once? And is my credit card info safe? See? You absolutely need both to have a successful app.
All right, let's put this into practice. Because, understanding this is one thing, but being able to explain it clearly when you're in a high-pressure interview, that's a whole other ballgame. So let's do a little practice run.
So imagine this. You're in an interview. The hiring manager leans forward and asks this exact question. It's probably one of the most common questions for any kind of testing or QA role. So how do you nail the answer without rambling?
This right here, this is your go-to answer. It really just boils down to one simple idea, perfectly laid out here. Functional testing is about the what. Think of it like checking the individual gears in a watch to make sure each one turns correctly. Non-functional testing is about the how. How do all those gears work together to create a watch that's reliable, elegant, and keeps perfect time? Just start with that what versus how idea, and then you can hit them with an example like the food delivery app we just talked about.
Okay, now for the follow-up question. This one really tests if you get the practical side of things. It's not just about definitions anymore, it's about priorities, it's about risk. So what do you think? Can a product actually go live without non-functional testing? So can you release it? Well, technically, yeah, you could. But as this slide shows, it's a huge risk. It's like sending your users over a rickety, shaky bridge. The app might function, it might get them from point A to point B, but if it's super slow, if it crashes when a lot of people use it, or worse, if it leaks their data, they're going to have a bad time. It's a massive gamble with your company's reputation and your users' trust. Okay, your turn. Let's really lock this concept in with a quick exercise. Just pause for a second and picture a banking app on your phone. Now, can you name 2 functional test scenarios? Something like verifying that a fund transfer actually goes through or checking that your account balance is correct. Got 'em? Okay, now what about 2 non-functional test scenarios? Maybe testing how fast the app loads when you have a bad connection or checking its security against common cyber attacks. See?
Doing this little exercise really helps make the difference stick.
So as we wrap this up, I want you to remember this quote. Features get users to try an app, performance gets them to stay. And that really says it all, doesn't it? Functional testing makes sure your app works, but non-functional testing, that's what ensures your app is actually worth using. Cool new features might get someone in the door, but it's the speed, the security, and the great overall experience that's going to make them stick around. They're really just two sides of the same coin, and that coin is called quality. You just can't have one without the other.